CBS here spoilers. Welcome back to the channel. Everyone, today is a beautiful day to dive deep into the absolute chaos unfolding in Genoa City. Grab a huge cup of coffee because we have a lot of wild theories, shocking plot twists, and pure soap opera madness to unpack today. Let's get right into it. So, let's just start by talking about Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers, because honestly, I never thought I would see the day where these two actually have a reason to connect on a deep level again. But here we are, and it is wild. You guys know their history. They have hated each other for decades. They have fought over Nick Newman more times than I can even count. But then the writers threw them into that absolute nightmare at the clinic with Martin Laurent, and that changed everything. Phyllis and Sharon were trapped. They were literally fighting for their lives under the control of a complete psychopath. And they survived it together. They saved each other's lives. That kind of trauma doesn't just go away, and it creates a bond that is almost impossible to break. Even if they still bicker and disagree on a normal Tuesday, they are trauma-bonded warriors now. And I think that bond is about to be tested all over again in the craziest way possible. Because right now, we have another woman in Genoa City who is trapped in a terrifying medical nightmare. Diane Jenkins Abbott. Diane has been missing for weeks. Jack and Kyle have been running around in circles, totally clueless, while Diane is living an absolute horror story. Based on the June 15th episode, we finally saw what is actually happening to her. And it is dark. Diane woke up completely disoriented and terrified in a strange room. She tried the doorknob, and of course, it was locked. She looked at the windows, and there are heavy iron bars blocking her from escaping. But here is the detail that absolutely made my jaw drop. While she is panicking, she looks around the room and sees a stack of books on a shelf. And who are those books written by Dr. Alan Laurent? Yes, Laurent, as in Martin Laurent's family. And then in walks this new character, Dr. Lawrence Markham. He is played by Jerry Burns, which is awesome by the way, but this doctor is so incredibly shady. Diane is panicking. She literally grabs a letter opener to defend herself. And what does this guy do? He just calmly gaslights her. He tells her to put down her little makeshift weapon. He lies right to her face and says he found her screaming on the side of the road in her car, having a complete mental breakdown. And the sickest part, he tells her that he called Jack, and that Jack agreed that she needs to be locked up and treated by him. Diane is trapped, thinking her own husband signed off on this nightmare. But we know that is a massive lie. So, who is actually behind this? Patty Williams. Oh my god, Patty Williams is back to her old tricks and she is more delusional than ever. Patty is actually the one paying off Dr. Markham. We saw her meet him at a cafe in the park, handing him an envelope stuffed with cash. She asked him how it was going, and he said it was going perfectly. He is literally keeping Diane hostage for a paycheck, but Patty's endgame is what really makes my stomach turn. She shows up at the Abbott mansion and shows Jack a staged photo of Diane. In the photo, Diane is unconscious in a white padded cell. Patty plays the hero, claiming she found Diane after her psyche shattered and put her in a safe clinic. Jack, being desperate, actually tries to play nice to get the location out of her. But Patty tells him that Diane's health is in his hands, and she demands that Jack sleep with her. She literally wants to recreate the magic they had on the yacht years ago. She is using his wife as a hostage to extort him for sex. It is so twisted. But here is where my brain just completely short-circuited. And I need to know if you guys are thinking the same thing. What if Dr. Lawrence Markham is not just some random corrupt psychiatrist? What if he is actually Martin Laurent? Just think about it for a second. The books on the shelf in Diane's prison are by Dr. Alan Laurent. That is a massive clue. The writers do not just drop a name like Laurent on a stack of books in a hostage room for no reason. Martin was arrested, sure, but we never really got confirmation on where he ended up long-term. What if, instead of a standard prison, Martin was transferred to a psychiatric facility for evaluation? And what if that facility was the exact same one where Patty Williams was locked up? Let's be real here. Patty Williams is the absolute queen of plastic surgery identity theft. Do we all remember when she got her face surgically altered to look exactly like Dr. Emily Peterson? She stole her face, took over her life, and married Jack. Patty knows exactly how to manipulate the medical system to change someone's identity. So what if Patty met Martin in the psych ward, realized they both have a sick obsession with controlling people, and helped him get plastic surgery? What if she funded a whole new face for Martin, and now he is walking around Genoa City calling himself Dr. Lawrence Markham? It sounds insane, but this is The Young and the Restless. This is exactly the kind of wild, messy, soap opera twist that fits perfectly into the history of these characters. If Dr. Markham is actually Martin Lawrence in disguise, then this storyline is about to explode in the best way possible. Because there is no way Sharon and Phyllis are going to sit on the sidelines if Martin is back. If they find out that the monster who tortured them is alive, has a new face, and is holding another Genoa City woman hostage, oh, it is over for him. They will lose their minds, and then they will go into full attack mode. Imagine the psychological impact this would have on Sharon and Phyllis. They thought they were safe. They thought they closed that dark chapter of their lives. Finding out Martin is back would trigger so much PTSD for both of them. I can already picture Sharon having panic attacks at Crimson Lights, remembering the walls of that clinic. I can picture Phyllis pacing around her hotel room, absolutely furious that this guy is breathing the same air as her. But after the fear fades, the anger is going to take over. And an angry Phyllis Summers teamed up with a protective Sharon Newman is a force of nature. And the irony of it all is just too good. Phyllis absolutely despises Diane Jenkins. They have been at each other's throats for decades. Phyllis faked her own death just to frame Diane for murder. And now, Phyllis might be the one who has to save her. I honestly love the idea of Phyllis having to swallow her pride and team up with Sharon to rescue the woman she hates most in the world. Because at the end of the day, Phyllis and Sharon know exactly what Diane is going through. They know the terror of being locked in a room by a fake doctor who is playing mind games with you. The sisterhood of surviving Martin Lawrence is going to trump whatever petty rivalry Phyllis has with Diane. I just really hope the writers actually go this route. You guys know how they are. Sometimes they set up these amazing, complex mysteries, and then resolve them in the most boring way possible. What were they thinking with some of these recent plots? Who actually believes that Jack and Kyle are going to figure this out on their own? Kyle is out here telling Detective Burrow that Diane would never just run off because she runs a division at Jabot. Like, Kyle, your mother is in a padded cell. Wake up. And Jack is too busy trying to fend off Patty's creepy advances to think straight. The Abbott men are completely useless right now. The only Abbott who actually has her eyes open is Tracy. Tracy is the MVP of this entire storyline. She is the one who caught Patty handing the cash to the doctor in the park. She literally hid behind a pillar, watched the whole thing, and called Jack immediately. And then she confronted Patty. Tracy told Patty she despised her and demanded to know what evil scheme she was plotting. Tracy is not playing around. She is already using psychological warfare on Patty, threatening to send her back to the mental ward and dangling the idea that Jack might actually be grateful to Patty if she just hands over Diane. Tracy is doing the heavy lifting, but she is going to need help to actually bust Diane out of that house. That is where Sharon and Phyllis need to come in. I can just see the climax of this storyline playing out. Tracy manages to get the address out of Patty. She calls Phyllis and Sharon because she knows they have experience dealing with rogue doctors. The three of them pull up to this creepy, barred house. Phyllis probably kicks the door down because she has zero patience. Sharon confronts Dr. Markham, looks into his eyes, and realizes it's Martin. And meanwhile, Diane is inside, still clutching that letter opener, ready to stab whoever walks through that door. It would be cinematic. It would be the kind of messy, high-stakes drama that we have been begging for. So anyway, I am just sitting here hoping that the writers give us this epic team-up. We need Sharon and Phyllis to have a new project to work on together. They are so good when they share scenes. And Diane desperately needs a rescue before Dr. Markham completely breaks her mind, because right now, Victor Newman is sitting back in his office, probably laughing at all of this. Let's not forget that Victor originally kidnapped Diane to brainwash her and started this whole chain of events just to mess with Jack. Victor is the root of all this evil, but Martin and Patty are the ones executing the nightmare. I don't know, maybe I'm being too dramatic about the plastic surgery theory. Okay, that sounded dramatic, but you get what I mean. In Genoa City, a stack of books by Ellen Laurent is never just a coincidence. It is a massive red flashing light. We are definitely going to see Phyllis and Sharon dragged into another terrifying mystery, and I am here for every single second of it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think Markham is Martin? Are you ready for a Phyllis and Sharon rescue mission? I will be watching closely and I will see you guys in the next update.